What is going on, everybody? Welcome to week number 11, year number 4 preview video. I'm switching some things up in this one. We're going to start with the picks and the previews for week 11, head into Madden update, and then do the recruiting last, so we can actually spend a little bit more time on that versus like the super duper heavy dose of analysis of picks, because I do want to give some shout out and some credit for Heel Boy's picks up on the website. So if you guys need a link to go there and check that out, it is in the description and in a pinned comment below. He is in third place currently, so make sure you guys are taking what he's saying very seriously. He's doing quite well. He's doing quite well. So if you need some expert advice outside of my own, what I can offer you guys, he is a good resource. So let's get right into this one. Shreveport against ACU. I don't know very many people that are going to pick Shreveport in this game. I know they have the number 37 overall rushing defense and the turnover differential. Why are they giving them the arrow at -3? Doesn't make much sense to me, because when we look at ACU's at 9, that should be the number that sticks out. They force turnovers. They know how to get the ball on defense. And look at that pass defense for Shreveport, number 83 in the land. That's probably because they run the football and run the clock out with heavy effectiveness. And when we look at the ACU's offense, the number 1 total offense, they're averaging 41 points per game. I just don't think that when you're running the football like Shreveport does, that you're going to hang with them. You know, ACU's going to score. They're going to do their thing. I'm taking ACU in this one. All right, Denver Tech against Odessa. This is a game that I highlighted, I circled on the calendar for year number 4. And I think Odessa did the same thing, because they're looking to make a statement. Cameron Willis in that Odessa offense, Paris Austin as well, Coach Stan Leach. They're looking to do some good things there in Odessa. And, you know, being 5-3, you need one more game, one more W to be a bowl-eligible team. And Denver Tech looked a little bit susceptible. It doesn't feel like this is the same type of Denver Tech team that we've come to know. I know that they're top 5, and they do need to earn some respect and garner some respect from you guys out there, and from me especially. But I don't think that Odessa's going to win this game. I just don't. I think they can hang with them. I think they can hang with them. Obviously, 43 points per game for Denver Tech, 37 for Odessa. The total offense numbers, number 5 against number 6. Pass offense, number 1 against number 10. It seems like it's all matching up to be a pretty close game, a pretty darn good one. This is a game that will be simulated, that you guys will be able to watch outside of Ardmore and Nebraska State's game. So this is just so you guys know what the picks are going to look like here, what games are going to be shown, what games are going to be simmed, because it does matter. It does matter. Some teams play better when you watch them. Some teams play worse when you watch them, but I just don't think that Denver Tech is going to be able to lose this game. I know that they had just lost to Ardmore a few weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, and it was only by 3 points. And then they doubled up. They killed Camu 38-13. Now they're playing a fairly equivalent type of opponent. Camu and Odessa seem to kind of be in that same tier. I don't know, guys. I don't know. My gut tells me Odessa, pick Odessa because that offense is legit, but so is Denver Tech's. I'm probably just going to take chalk right here, go with Denver Tech. Remember, conference play points are worth 3 points, so if you take the upset, you make up a lot of ground. If you just want to stay put, go with favorites. Camu against Nebraska State. Nebraska State getting the victory last weekend, and man, was it a good one. Odessa against Nebraska State, Shinosky against Cameron Willis, that matchup. And they narrowly squeaked out another victory, 45-41. Another victory that was close, 34-31. 4-point loss to ACU. 2-point win over UBA. 3-point win over Ball State. So they're playing in a lot of close games, guys. They're just getting it done. And when we look at Camu's last couple weeks here, it's kind of the same thing that they had last season, where they started off terribly Terribly. They're giving up a lot of points now. 38, 45, 45, 27. And then when we look at the wins that they had, they weren't giving up that many points. They were kind of hovering and giving their opponents some fits here in the 20s. But when we look at the opponents that they played, Central Michigan, UMass, and Little Rock, I think the real Camu is being shown right here and being exposed. And I think Bud Warner's time is coming to an end here. I think Nebraska State gets this W. They're going to advance to 8-1. Camu is going to drop to 1-5 in conference play, 5-5 overall. It sucks, but I think Camu might be looking to not reach a bowl game. Pretty interesting matchup here. Little Rock hosting Midland. I don't really know who to take in this game at all. Because when you look at the pass offenses, guys, it's number 4 against number 3. Rush defense in the top 10, both squads. Top 30 offenses in points per game. It looks like it's going to be a pretty close one, in my opinion. Little Rock got a better defense, forcing 8 turnovers in the differential. They're +8. Top 10 team in that regard. So considering that fact, and we know that Dexter Whiteside is turnover prone, my gut is telling me Little Rock. My gut's telling me Little Rock on the defensive side of the football alone, but I know that Gunnar Rivers sometimes has some issues with his wide receivers, or at least his offensive line, right? So they're going to have to play a team game. So the thing with Little Rock is that they have to play a team game, a complete team game, in order to get the W. They can't just rely on Gunnar Rivers to do that, and if they do, they're probably going to lose. Because Gunnar Rivers, as good as he is, can't put the team on his back, right? It can't do everything, can't do it all. So if Little Rock plays a complete game, they're going to get this W. As far as Midland State goes, that offense is really scary when it's clicking. If it's not clicking, where Whiteside's throwing turnovers and Whiteside's doing some weird things, they're not winning this football game. They don't have the defense in order to hang in with a lot of these Big 12 conference teams. They just don't have it. It's a very young secondary. Look at the pass defense, 122nd, giving up 275 per game. With an experienced quarterback and Gunnar Rivers against that secondary, I'm taking Little Rock. Perhaps one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting game in this entire Week 11, McAllen against Amarillo. 2 B+ type of schools in the overall ranking. And it's a good matchup, guys. I mean, why wouldn't you like this matchup? We've got Brock Musselman taking on his old school. A lot of those players were actually recruited by Brock Musselman, so it's going to be interesting to see this kind of, I don't want to say homecoming because the game is being held in Amarillo, but it's going to be an interesting matchup nonetheless because you have a new look McAllen offense that looks like they're just clicking on all cylinders, guys. Look at that total offense number 45 compared to Amarillo's number 34. So very comparable, very comparable. Rush offense, though, that is the difference here. Number 10 for McAllen versus 119 for Amarillo. So Amarillo is slinging the football, doing kind of that air raid type of offense. I don't want to say that. I want to say that very loosely because I think they have Clemson's offense. But regardless, they are airing it out with Rhett Bollinger. Not running a whole lot, but they are running enough to where it's helping out the passing game. Two different total styles of offensive philosophy. It's tough. And Amarillo's defense, number 6 against the run. And that is something that we need to look out for in this football game. Pass defense, 114th. They're having a really tough time defending against the pass. But Harkless doesn't throw the football. They're running the football constantly. So it's going to be a mano-a-mano type of matchup here between two top 15 teams. I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take Amarillo in this one just because I think Brock Musselman and Rhett Bollinger still have that chip on their shoulder for this entire season. And they're going to get it done here because they hate themselves some McAllen. And then we get Ardmore, number 1 team in the nation. That's right, baby. We're 8-0. We're going to be moving to 5-0 after this game against Uba. But don't sleep on Uba. Just kidding, guys. You can sleep on Uba. Those offensive numbers are so bad. So bad. 114th in the nation, 121st in total offensive yards per game. Points per game, like I mentioned, 114th. Like, this is just not good. The rush offense isn't there. The pass offense isn't there. That's almost a top 100. Can you even say that? Top 100. It's just bad. It's just bad news bearish for them. We've got the #1 rushing defense in the nation. Turnover differential, 21st, +4. While UBA, -7. -7. Giving the football away 7 more times than they take it over. It's not good. They're not scoring points. They're not getting yards. They're not really stopping anybody. They're not forcing turnovers. You would be crazy to take UBA, but you know, it's a rivalry game and anything can happen, right? That's how I'm going to sell this, and for you guys who are going to pick UBA, that's how I'm going to sell it. But, you know, you'd be a crazy, crazy person if you took UBA trying to buck the trend. I'm taking Ardmore in this one. I think we move to 9-0. All right, so that is the Week 11 preview of the games. You guys want to check out the Madden update? That is coming up after we go talk about the Heisman race, conference standings, and take a look at some of the players of the week. Heisman watch time, guys. Brandon Peters is #1 in this Heisman watch race. 15 of 21, 373 and 3 touchdowns against Michigan State. Ended up winning that game 49-30. So that's good. That's good. But John Hicks, moving on up. Moving on up. 30 of 39 for 302, 8 carries, and 5 total touchdowns. That's definitely going to move him on up the boards. And yes, that final drive was a Heisman moment, guys, against a top 4 team against ACU. I'd say that he's earning his stripes here, and he's earning a lot of respect amongst the voters for the Heisman watch. Just watch out for John Hicks. If we get another W here against Broken Arrow and we actually do some really good things and put up stats, get a lot of yards, get some touchdowns for Hicks, I think he's going to end up becoming in first place. Alex Makovich moved up as well against Kansas A&M. 3 total touchdowns. 251 though. 251 though. You think you'd want to see a little bit more, especially from a Heisman type of quarterback at a 99 to boot. But regardless, 3 touchdowns, you're gonna move on up, especially with the type of season that he's having. 2,067 yards passing, 18 touchdowns and 3 picks. You want to see touchdowns come up a little bit though. If Makovich wants a chance at being in this top 2, maybe even to win it, he's got to get a little bit higher in the touchdown ranking. I don't think he has a lot of rushing touchdowns. Hicks has 6. That kind of rhymed a little bit. But let's see what he's got. So he's got 7. So I take that back. Makovich and Hicks are kind of having similar years, but I think Hicks has been a little bit more effective. I think that loss against Ardmore is really hurting Makovich here, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if in the next couple weeks you start seeing Makovich just start climbing up, maybe even surpassing John Hicks. We got to make sure that we get Hicks some touchdowns in these next few games for Ardmore. Players of the week time, NCAA week #10, Sam Ehlinger against Colorado, winning 35-31. 5 total touchdowns. Johnny Stefanski. You guys can tell me how that's pronounced, especially Skylar, if you're out there. I keep forgetting how it's pronounced, but 9 tackles, 5 tackles for losses, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. I would say that that's a heck of a game. Yeah, you definitely deserved all NCAA honors. So let's check out the Big 12. Obviously, Stefanski is going to win the defensive side of that. And then we got Ben Shinosky on offense, winning Player of the Week for week #10. 291, 3 scores, 69 yards against Odessa in that big-time W. Conference standings time, just to get a little bit of an update. We kind of have yet again a log jam going on here in the West. Denver Tech at 3-1 in conference, Amarillo 3-1 in conference, and Nebraska State 3-1 in conference. So here is the dealio. If Odessa decides that they're going to upset Denver Tech falls to 3-2 in conference. Amarillo could lose against McAllen, which would make them 3-2. And Nebraska State playing against Kansas A&M, who is in free-fall mode. They could go to 4-1 and be sitting atop the Big 12 West heading into week number 12. So in crunch time, there's a lot of scenarios that could end up happening here. Take a look at the East. Take a look at the East here real quick. Ardmore 4-0, McAllen 3-1. So that's going to be a big time matchup for us in week number 12 after this rivalry game against UBA. So each and every win is crucial for us right now. Little Rock still kind of hanging in there, but they're kind of running out of time. 2 lost teams in the Big 12 East are kind of running out of time here to catch Ardmore, because those were really tough stretch games that the other teams really needed us to lose, and we just didn't. So Little Rock pretty much needed us to lose against these 2 teams. We didn't. If we end up losing here to McAllen, that's going to hurt us big time. And then if we lose to Little Rock, which is exactly kind of sets up for what they want, they would end up owning in the tiebreaker over us. Although I don't know, have they played McAllen yet? So Little Rock has not played McAllen yet either. They play them in the last game of the season. So this is far from a guarantee that we're going to win the Big 12 East. We just have to take care of our own business. But McAllen needs a little bit of help. Little Rock needs a little bit of help. It's kind of weird. Little Rock needs help from McAllen. They need McAllen to beat Ardmore. But then when these 2 teams play at the very last week of the season, if that scenario plays out, oof, tough. That's tough. If you guys are sticking with me here, if you're understanding what I'm saying, it's far from guaranteed that Ardmore is going to win this conference. 24 for Ohio State. Last week they were number 3. They moved up to number 2. 24-0 against Rutgers. And then Marshall is actually getting 2 votes again. So they beat Tulsa 48-42. And that game is a lot closer than a lot of people are realizing when they were playing. So Tulsa at one point had the lead on the Thundering Herd. They were ranked number 5 last week. Now they're all the way up to number 3. I don't really know how to make or what to make of this. There was a comment, Diabolist, that was pretty funny. I actually got a laugh out of that. He said that, watch, Ohio State's going to lose. Marshall will end up playing Ardmore for the national championship game. And because we smack-talked them in the last couple preview videos about not being very talented, we're going to end up losing the national title game to Marshall. That's what would happen. Joe Barry's defense at Florida State playing decently. They moved up from number 6 to number 4, having not even played. Denver Tech moves up 2 spots. McAllen moves up 2 spots. Michigan up 2. ACU drops 4 spots, which is pretty harsh. Pretty harsh in my opinion, but I guess it makes sense because now you have a 2-loss ACU against Michigan, McAllen, Denver Tech, Florida State, all with 1 loss. I know it sucks, and I feel like losing to the number 1 team in the nation shouldn't have dropped you that far. I think it's more so the fact that you have 2 losses on your resume than just 1. And Washington last week, this is why we have all these teams moving up. Washington was number 2 in the nation. Now they're number 11 after losing to number 22 UCLA 42-16. Wow. UCLA's playing good too. They're 7-3 right now. Dang. That sucks. Nebraska State holds serve at the number 12 spot. Amarillo as well holds serve. They didn't play. Little Rock again holds serve. They didn't play. And that rounds out your top 25 for Big 12 team builder teams. Other teams receiving votes. Kansas A&M is actually receiving 37 votes to be in the top 25, but they also dropped out from being number 23. So there's still coaches out there who believe that KAMU is a ranked team, probably given the strength of the Big 12. It's always a good Wednesday when we can get a Madden update with the Miami Dolphins. Am I right, guys? Currently, we're sitting 5-3 against the Patriots in week number 10. So this is the gameplay that you're going to see for your Dolphins here. So let's take a look at the schedule, see how we've been doing here with the Jed Carmichael, Andre Wingo, Drakeenan Timmons, Todd Parker, Jeff Henderson, need to go on. We've got a lot of Big 12 players on this football team here. The last time you guys saw us, we were playing against the Jets. Got that W 30-6. Ended up getting a W here against the Jets again, 33-28. Browns 27-17. And 49ers 24-17. So the Dolphins are playing in a lot of close games, especially after that loss against the Patriots there. So you guys will note that we're playing against the Patriots here. We're 5-3 and currently tied in the AFC East for the division lead. So this is a very big game for the Miami Dolphins and the Patriots. And we will notice that in the AFC total, in the NFL standings, we got the Broncos here at 5-3, Steelers at 5-3, Jaguars 5-3, Dolphins. I mean, hey guys, this is going to be a really good turnaround if somehow, some way, this Dolphins football team can get into first place in the AFC. It's very possible that this could happen. So I don't want to count our chickens before they hatch too quick, but you know, we're on a 4-game winning streak right now after starting 1-3. So we're getting hot. Andre Wingo's getting used, being utilized like a rented mule. And Jed Carmichael is starting to hit his stride. Stats leading into week number 10. Jed Carmichael only 8 touchdowns though. And that is not good. That is not good at all, because let's just look at the Eagles right here. Carson Wentz got 13. Let's take a look at Robert Bishop. Has 23 touchdowns right now, 4 picks, 2,200 yards. How many did Carmichael have? So he's getting the yards. He's right up there in the yardage gain. Completion percentage 65%. So these aren't bad numbers. It's just he's not being used in the red zone, or he's not throwing a lot of touchdowns. I think it's all basically going to Andre Wingo. I mean, he's got 6. So, I mean, that's up there. Jay Ajayi with 5. Devonta Freeman with 6. McKinnon with 5. There's Noah Jones with his only 1. So, yeah, guys, he's it's interesting. It's very interesting that they're not utilizing Jed Carmichael in the red zone for any touchdown opportunities. Taking a look at the receiving numbers here for the Dolphins. Odell Beckham Jr., 741 yards, 6 touchdowns. So 6 of Carmichael's 8 touchdowns have gone to Odell. Then we got Paris McMillan down here, 4 for 54. Jerkina Timmons, 2 for 37. So Timmons is finding himself kind of out of the playbook right now. And Paris McMillan, even though he's listed as the number 4 wide receiver, they're just not throwing the football to anybody else but Beckham and Stills. And then we see defensively, Todd Parker only has 1 sack right now, 4 tackles for losses, 19 tackles total. Jalen Ferguson, one of our draft picks from last season, has a half a sack. And anybody else here? Raekwon Davis, nice. So I'm glad to see that he's starting to come through, because that first season was not too good. So maybe he did need some help there along the defensive line. I think Todd Parker has been a much-needed addition for this Dolphins defense. And guys, as we go through these Madden updates, if I don't mention your player or a guy that you're aware of, like let's say Brian Street, there has been no change. So just so you know, Brian Street is still the backup. Nothing's changed. Cam Newton's still healthy. He's still going strong here. But CJ Wicks, 12 touchdowns, 9 picks, 60%. But yet the Broncos are currently 5-3. So he's been very effective. He's been effective. He's not winning the games for him, but he's not losing the games for them either. So I think that it's coming down to that defense is really why the Broncos are doing really well here. Former Odessa State product Montana Flynn, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for 2,500 yards, 66% completions percentage. He's having a really good second season, guys, for the Bucks. You guys remember Jamil Schmidt, right? Denver Tech running back, did a lot of really good things for them, was in the Heisman running, and the Cincinnati Bengals are loving him on the goal line. I think they're kind of making up for the fact that Jarquez Holly, you guys remember Jarquez Holly was the touchdown vulture out of Denver Tech. they're giving Schmidt his due. They're like, dude, we know that you got screwed on the goal line a lot. We're giving you the football on the goal line. Has to be, because the average yards per carry are not very good at 2.5, but he is getting the 4 touchdowns that leads the way for the Bengals rushing. Nick Reed Jr. from ACU is getting involved in the Denver Broncos offense. 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, but Royce Freeman is obviously the starter out there. No challenge for Royce Freeman. Andre Shook has as many attempts as Tion Green, and he's not doing too well in the yards per carry. 3.4 versus 2.5. 2 touchdowns. Average rushing yards per game is 8. So he's still getting involved there a little bit. I'd love to see if he's getting involved in the passing game, though. And it does not look like he is very much. 2 catches for 24, but I still love me some DeQuandre Shook. D.D. Foreman, former Ardmore wide receiver, 26 catches, 228 for a score. Not too bad for a rookie. Right up there with Doug Baldwin with 34 catches and Eric Ebron with 34 as well. Amari Emanuel's still kind of struggling, guys. He's not rated very badly at all, man. He's an 84 wide receiver, 6'9". I think we might have to trade for this guy because he's not getting involved at all in this Colts offense. T.Y. Hilton taking up the majority of the receptions. Jack Doyle, again, being a Andrew Luck favorite target. Jordan Matthews has been brought in, and he's taking snaps away. I mean, there's something going on here with the Colts and Amari Emanuel. And you know what? I think it might be a really wise thing to approach him in the offseason, because if we look at the contract, I think it might be coming up here pretty quick. So let's look at the contract, see how many years he's got left. He's got 3 years left remaining. So if we were to end up trading for Amari Emanuel, it might take a lot to go out and get him. He might end up being a 90 overall by the time he's a free agent. Let's hope he doesn't re-sign with the Colts, because maybe he likes it there. I don't know, but he's not getting used very highly. All right, guys, so that was a little stats update. Let's get right into this gameplay. Dolphins against Patriots, battle for AFC East supremacy for at least 1 week. All right, guys, here we go. 5-3 teams, both the Patriots and the Dolphins. This is a huge game for both squads. We ended up losing our first matchup at home against the Patriots, 31-16. So we're hoping for a better result here, even though it's on the road. It kind of sucks it's on the road in Gillette Stadium. And we're going to take on this Patriots offense that looks to be pretty solid, guys. We've still got Rob Gronkowski here. James White is still at the helm. Chris Hogan. A lot of familiar faces here. They do have DK Metcalf, so they drafted him. There is a reception to DK Metcalf right there for a big-time gain. And Jake Fromm is the quarterback for the Patriots, so he's the future after Tom Brady. Now, remember, Case Keenum used to be the quarterback in the Bengals franchise. If you guys have watched that, shout out to that series. But so they've been searching for some answers in both series, and it looks like they went with the young route with Jake Fromm in this Madden Update series that we have going on here. So we hold them to get out of the end zone after an interception. That's something that we can force Jake Fromm to do, being so young. We can force him to make some bad throws here, but we will have to settle for a field goal. And look at this catch by OBJ near the sideline. It's going to be to the 4-yard line. That's 750 receiving yards for him on the season. Andre Wingo going to try to spin out, but can't bust off the gang tackle there. Stephon Gilmore with the tackle. We're still sitting at the 4-yard line, and Jed Carmichael drops the football. Kyle Van Noy comes up with the fumble recovery. And Carmichael, you got to be smarter than that, man. We need some points. We're on the road. You can't be giving the football away like you are right there. That sucks. But Todd Parker able to get into the backfield to stop James White. 2nd and 17 here for the Dolphins. And oh no, Kyle Van Noy. Is he going to take it all the way to the house? Carmichael's the only man who can stop him, and he's not going to be able to catch him, guys. It's a pick 6 for Kyle Van Noy. And it was just not a good throw. I mean, he hid himself well in that midfield logo, and Carmichael didn't see him, just floated it on that drag route, and the rest is history. So it's 14-3 right now. Carmichael trying to do his best to try to bring the Dolphins back into this football game, and what a throw, and what a catch in the back of the end zone by OBJ, beating his man, and that's a really good completion, guys, to get that touchdown. Going to be 14-10 now, and oh no, we have another pick six? Bobby McCain has got one man to beat. That's Jake Fromm. He's not going to catch him. Touchdown Dolphins. So now both teams have defensive touchdowns from interceptions. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So 17-14. Dolphins take the lead. We do have the football on the 1 yard line, and Kyle Van Noy makes the tackle on Andre Wingo. Now, we did get this football back here off of an interception. So Jake Fromm now has 2 interceptions in the game, and Wingo's got to leave the game now. He's hurt, and he's going to miss some extended amount of time, guys. I will give you an update here in just a few moments after this highlight reel, but we go for it on 4th down and 1 with the QB sneak. Carmichael gets in 24-14, and Bobby McCain gets an interception, and we've got the football back here. And now look, interception, Stephon Gilmore. We were shooting for OBJ on that streak. It looked like he was wide open had Carmichael given that a little bit more loft. Now, we saw that a lot at his time at McAllen University. He doesn't have a lot of loft on his arc for his football throws here. I don't know, man. But on this one, he did find OBJ, that lucky number 13, and we got a touchdown here, 30-21, and the goofiness continues in this football game. So we got pick sixes, we got forced fumbles with sacks, we got running backs getting hurt, everybody's getting hurt all over the place. Jake Fromm has 3 interceptions, and 4 interceptions actually, 4 interceptions, and Jed Carmichael has 3 turnovers to his name. 2 interceptions, a forced fumble. There you go. Touchdown to Albert Wilson on a streak that we audibled out. Wide open. There was nowhere near him. Jump a little bit forward here. 4th quarter, a minute 50, 39-39. So we did take that lead 31-24 after that Albert Wilson touchdown. And now we find ourselves in this situation 39-39. So the offense has been insane. It's either one or two things. The offense has been insane, or the defense has forced so many more opportunities for their team that the football's just been going back and forth, back and forth. Either way you take it, it's been a crazy game right here. And here's Corey Clement now getting the call because Andre Wingo is hurt. He's going to take it into the end zone, 46-39. The Patriots will drive down the field to get up to the 30. 29-yard line right now, 20 seconds to go. Fromm finds Gronkowski, and he had 2 guys to beat. We've seen that so many times. Gronkowski able to miss the 1 tackle and then get in the end zone on a 1v1. But look, he's looking for Gronkowski again, and luckily Sean Lee sticks with Gronkowski and able to get that pass deflection. So with 10 seconds to go, 4th and 2, they get a false start penalty, and it's going to push them back 5 yards. It's going to be 4th and 7 now at the 18-yard line. They have to get 7 yards to get that first down to keep the drive going. And oh, the catch is made, but they drop it. They drop it because our defense is so clutch right now, guys. I know we gave up a lot of points in this game today and a lot of yards, but this is New England. This is Chad Masters here, the guru. But we came through in the clutch, guys. We came through. 3 touchdowns for each quarterback, 2 interceptions for Carmichael, 5 interceptions for Jake Fromm. So I feel like it could have been a lot worse, man. They were scoring points despite giving the ball to us 5 times. So back and forth, back and forth. This was a gutsy performance by both teams, guys. And just giving you guys a little bit of an update here on Wingo. He's now out for 11 weeks. 11 weeks, guys. So it's not good. Not good. So we are going to try to see how we're going to do without Andre Wingo for the rest of the season, perhaps the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs at this point due to his injury. So we'll just see what happens. Let's get right back into the preview for college football. With the completion of the Madden update, let's get into the recruiting, and then we'll end today's video. Tyler Dykes down 470 points to Shreveport, so got to get on that. So we're putting the full 600 on him. Chris Wright, seems like Nebraska State's really trying to hit hard on that defense. Probably give them something more of like a staple to their team when they start grooming Bubba Robinson in for next season, because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a few offensive growing pains and some learning curves there. So it's probably a good strategy to start building that defense up so that they can actually grow with Bubba Robinson, get in some young talent, some young linebackers, some young corners. So I like what they're doing here. It makes a lot of sense to me. So we'll just have to see how it's all going to pan out for him. Willie Kidd out of Hawaii, the number 11 pass rusher, is in the lead. I will say that ACU did put some more points onto Willie Kidd to try to make this more of a race to get that four-star defensive end. John Wolf has looking like he's going to commit here to Nebraska State, being in JUCO. That's probably going to help their offensive line. Jordan Allen does have a visit, so Jordan Allen is visiting Nebraska State this weekend, actually in the lead. They're down 445 points right now. It's not looking good, though, because that 650 is kind of hovering there for that Week 13 visit. So I don't really know how I feel about this for Nebraska State. I hope they get this guy. Looks like he's going to be a pretty good one as the number 12 defensive tackle. Hey, they got a kicker, so Shanosky doesn't have to kick anymore. Brian Sanders and Seamus O'Regan has committed. We know that for sure. Adam Porter, a 72 center. Got some leads here. Number 1 in a lot of spots here. But overall, it looks like Nebraska State's having a pretty good recruiting board. Just got to get some more commitments. ACU's kind of in the same boat here, guys. 25 scholarships still available. They have not committed anybody yet. We're already in week number 11, so got to get on that. Got to get on that. Josh Miller, number 2 corner, is actually trending towards Ardmore's way, which is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I think that was mostly because of a visit. Yes, it was. Had 1,000 or 1,170 points. Bonus. It's probably gonna change, given how close that ACU is with 690. So yeah, we just kind of came out of nowhere and became in first place. So I hope that we can hang on to this guy. But ACU looks like they're going to be coming on pretty strong for him with a late visit. Corey Simmons looks like he is trending towards ACU as well. Frank Larson and Josh Coles, we don't actually have any more lock breaking ability right now, so we can't use that. But lucky for ACU, they do have visits scheduled. So if he doesn't end up committing, then it looks like ACU still has a shot here for Frank Larson. Ardmore does have a visit, by the way, which we'll talk about once we talk about Ardmore's board. But Armani Roussel, considering Little Rock, given the fact that they just signed, just considering that they signed Keneal Mason and LaQuinton Evans, and they killed it in the recruiting boards so far in this year number 4. I think Roussel is probably going to be going to Little Rock in that potentially potent offense. But all things considered, guys, ACU's got some work to do still. Even in week 11, they've still got work to do. They have not signed anybody yet. And that's really concerning. It's very concerning. So you got to wonder if these losses and the negativity that's surrounding the program right now about not getting it done in the clutch is affecting the way the recruits are looking at the school. You got to wonder that. But again, they're still pulling in some interest from a lot of really high-profile recruits. It's just a matter of, are they going to be able to get it done? Ardmore is in a perfect situation here. We got recruits lining up here to come to our school. We got good guys. Look at this list right here. Willie Nelson, Josh Miller, Fortlow, Savage, Mike Curtis is a good, solid player, even though he's a JUCO. Chris Wright, we can still nab Chris Wright. Frank Larson, David Tomshaw were in the lead for the number 1 quarterback in the nation. There's a lot of good things going on in Ardmore right now. And Tremaine Young, what a job. What a job. Just slow clap for Tremaine Young. The coaching job that he's been able to do with these players, he's in the Ardmore system. He knows what he's doing. He learned from Jeff Henderson, who's now with the Miami Dolphins. You guys just saw how he's doing. out in Miami with his guys. And, you know, he's killing it on both fronts. He's killing it with coaching. He's killing it with recruiting. A lot of guys are considering Ardmore. A lot of people are talking about us. The media coverage is going crazy. It's going good, man. It's going good. Darnell Savage, we just had a visit here for him, and we had that 1,120-point bonus that's really pushing us over the top for him. The thing that sucks, though, is that the Odessa visit. That's what sucks, because in Week 14, look at the difference between the 1,120-plus bonus points compared to the 950, right? And knowing that the bonus points that are going to be applied to Darnell Savage is going to come if Odessa meets those requirements, if they meet those bonus points, like 100-yard receiving game from wide receivers or 300 passing yards total, or, you know, whatever. Odessa's definitely going to do that in week number 14. They're definitely going to do it. And it's based out of Texas. So that's what sucks. We have to commit Darnell Savage this week, next week, week 13. We have to do everything that we possibly can in order to commit this man to not go to Odessa State. Because I guarantee you guys, if we don't make enough ground to stretch ourselves away from Odessa, I could see that late season visit just kind of vaulting Odessa up top, and then Darnell Savage going out there. So that would suck. I would hate for that to happen. I don't want to lose out on this guy. We need wide receivers really, really bad. David Tomsha, number 1 quarterback, is considering us, even though his hometown state is Kansas. I think Tomsha just likes the offense that he's been able to see from Ardmore, but his heart is leaning towards Camu and fixing that program. It's going to be a tough decision for him, man, because if he wants to win, if he doesn't want a project on his hands, then he wants to go to Ardmore. If he wants to go where his heart is telling him to go, it would definitely be Kansas A&M in order to help revive that program, because we all know, and you know what, maybe it's also because he doesn't know what's going to happen with Bud Warner. If Warner ends up retiring or if he gets fired, whichever, maybe he's pushed out, that could be a factor. And whoever they hire as the next head coach, that could be a factor on if he's going to decide to go to Camu or not. We're so in the lead for Quentin Booker, this defensive end. And guys, our defensive line is probably the biggest strength for us that's been there for as long as I can remember with this Ardmore football team, is defensive line. But getting Quentin Booker would do some really big things for us too. And just adding more pass rushers is another solid thing. Justin Keith, even though we had a pretty good showing here in last week, we don't get a visit until week 12. And I hope that we can survive long enough in order to grab him. But I know that Camu wants offensive line. I'm almost kind of feeling bad for him at this point. I'm kind of punting Justin Keith to him and trying to give him away. But, you know, with as much success as we're having, I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to go a little harder on Justin Keith to try to steal him away from Camu, because we also need an offensive line because we're losing some guys. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. Leave a like if you like this thing, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that red button for subscribe or my logo in the bottom right-hand corner to never miss a single upload of our NCAA football team builder or whatever else that you guys like on the channel. We do a lot here between MVP baseball, 2006 for NCAA, obviously NCAA football, MLB The Show, you name it, we got it here. That's what this channel is all about, variety, entertainment. But yeah, I apologize to you guys for not getting this video out on Wednesday. There's a lot just going on for me personally, between work, trying to get the house in order, everything that you could possibly think of to delay a man to upload one of these videos. Sucks, but that's life. That's the way it is. So I appreciate you guys being patient. And happy Friday, TGIF. Here's NCAA football team builder, am I right? So guys, I'll see you on Saturday morning. Don't forget to make your picks on the Google Forms. Link is in the description and the pinned comment as well. And the standings are also there as well if you guys want to see where you stack up and probably what decisions that you might want to make here. Maybe even start like picking out some trends, because you guys can start seeing like who picked who last week and who did what. You know, why might they have gone with that team versus this team in that matchup? Is this player, does he like to take the favorites every time? You know, kind of plot your picks out a little bit. I'm obviously not going to show you guys who they're picking this week. That wouldn't be fair at all. But yeah, do a little research. Try to scout your opponents a little bit. That would be my advice. Also, my advice would be to take Heel Boy's advice in the Pick Center on the website goldglovergaming.com. That link is also in a description and in the pinned comment below. So I'll see you guys on Saturday morning. Gonna post this thing at 11 a.m. So make sure you get your picks in by then, and that you're ready and waiting on bated breath to watch week number 11 football action in the Big 12 Team Builder. I'll see you guys in that one. As always, peace.